Well, welcome back, our friends, to the show that you wish would never end. I'm Erico, and you've just tuned back into Size Doesn't Matter. This gentleman is a fantastic musician, a really rich history of music, and the roots and the people he's played with are amazing.
The boy can play guitar, and he actually taught me a song. Yes.
First of all, your musical footprint is huge. The people you've touched, the people that have touched you and everything else. You're talking the middle of the 20th century, they were picking cotton.
Didn't matter with people of color, bro.
We think of this back in 1800s, right?
What they did blew my mind. I didn't understand it, but they literally built a house out of straw and mud and dirt.
Wow.
We lived poorly, but to me, shit, we were Rockefellers, man. It was R&B Central, and it had some great musicians that people will never hear about. Long story short, he showed me my first two songs, Down the Road a Piece and Little Red Rooster.
Great blues tunes that are still carrying on today.
All like a Bobby Blue Bland. That's where they came.
I mean, the real blues and R&B guys. You're saying you were coming right
The
through
masters.
Sac.
The masters. The famous jazz organist who's no longer with us, Jimmy McGriff. For those who don't know, Google it, get on your phone, look up Jimmy McGriff, just look it up, learn something. Listen to where the history of the Hammond B3 came from. Hands me this golf club. He goes, just go put it in the hole. And I start swinging, trying to get the ball, and the more I swung, the more they laughed. Here come the cops. Tell you why. Because what I found out later, that was a pristine putting green. They gave me a pitching wedge. I destroyed that green.
Our younger audience, you gotta look up Gladys Knight and the Pips. One of the most amazing voices you will ever listen to. Well, welcome back, our friends, to the show that you wish would never end. I'm Erico, and you've just tuned back into Size Doesn't Matter, Entrepreneurial Marketing and Mayhem. And I'm extra excited today because, I have a slight background in music. I'd love to say I'm a musician. I'm a hack. But I got to play with a truly, truly professional one song in my life on a stage. And this gentleman is a fantastic musician, a really rich history of music, and the roots and the people he's played with are amazing. Roger Smith, what else can I say about you as an introduction? Welcome.
Listen, he did great, guys. Let me tell you that. The boy can play guitar. And he actually taught me a song. Yes. So don't
Elton John. We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
Elton John song. Yeah. Well, Roger, I mean, we talked a little bit before the podcast, and I knew you. I didn't know you. You gave me some rich, incredible history. I mean, first of all, your musical footprint is huge. The people you've touched, the people that have touched you and everything else, but even your history going back. So you told me you were born in Dallas, Texas?
Born in Dallas, correct.
Texas. And you came out to California as a young man because of why?
Well, basically, I was very, very young. My folks moved from Texas. I won't even mention the towns, Purdon, Beckville, okay? We're talking country. They left Texas in search of better. So we moved into the Central Valley in California by way of Hobbs, New Mexico, where my dad cut hair. At that time, I was about 4.5, 5. But I remember those sagebrush things, tumbling all over the place. This stuff? And so we moved below Fresno, and there's Fresno, Kingsburg, Visalia, down Dinuba.
Yeah. And
back then, it was a sharecropper community. Back in the 50s, yes. It was around 54, 5, 6 when we lived there. And before my sister was born, she was born in 56. And Mom and Dad, to stay alive and to make ends meet, they picked cotton. Yes.
Wait, you're talking the middle of the 20th century, they were picking cotton.
Didn't matter with people of color, bro.
we think of this back in the 1800s, right?
No, they were still
California.
There was still the big house up on the hill. I won't say Massa wasn't that bad, but they were still employing people, and they were mostly sharecroppers or people in what do you call it? There's a word that doesn't come to mind, but people who move place to place to find work. And that was us, and a lot of other people that lived next to us. Matter of fact, our neighbors came in from Oklahoma, and what they did blew my mind. I didn't understand it, but they literally built a house out of straw and mud and dirt.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, they made bricks out of it,
They made it work. So this is
and they built a house. Yeah.
We don't think about it. We live in California. We see it's modern. I've lived here my whole life. I never knew that history. That's just incredible.
And it's the whole Fresno, the Kingsburg, that Imperial Valley.
Yeah.
Very rich valley. And a lot of people worked there. It supplied employment for a lot of people like my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And
but you had a good time though, right?
Always, always.
Life was good. If you
well, yeah,
it
was good because of my parents.
Yeah.
All that ugliness, I didn't learn about that until I got older. I didn't see any. Well, take that back. A few things happened. We'll cross that path. But all in all, it was positive for me as a kid. We left there, moved up to Fresno, and from Fresno we wound up in Sacramento by the time I'm 10. There it is. Yeah.
And here you've been to Sacramento since then.
So people ask where you're from. I was born in Dallas, but basically raised here since I was 10. Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to say Sacramento, we're very close to the San Francisco Bay Area.
True that.
Sacramento's always kind of lived in the shadow, but San Francisco has such a rich, popular music foothold there.
Yeah.
And always we'd be in the shadow of it, but a lot of it trickled over. A lot of famous Sacramento musicians went to the Bay Area and became famous there rather than here. So there's good cross-pollination down Interstate 80, I think. So what point did you kind of realize that music was your passion? There was something there and you wanted to take it someplace?
Well, music was always in the family. All my cousins and all my uncles played blues. They all could play some form of guitar, blow some form of harmonica. Played a crap out of it too. So I was always around it. We had house parties when I was a youngster, and it was normal. All the families would get together in a house, and there was no such thing as babysitters. They put us in a room, make sure we had food, water, and whatever things to play with, and they were out there partying, man. They had they were getting their swerve on, dude. And so we were back there just having a blast as kids. And out there, they were playing Brooke Benton, all these tunes, man, Sam Cooke, tunes that still stick in me.
Yeah.
And they would dance and party. So that's how the music kind of got in me. And what it did for me was establish a base to work from, which I found out later, what my calling was, if you will, and what I really liked. And that was tunes that had something to say musically. It could be as simple, 1-4-5 something, as long as what you're saying in that 1-4-5 chord progression is saying something. It's not how fast you play. It's not what kind of feedback you can get on your guitar, or how you look. It's what you're saying.
So when you say, what are you saying with music? What does that actually mean to non-musician people?
Well, okay, actually what I'm saying is when you hear, you hear one of your favorite guitarists or your favorite saxophonist or bassist or keyboardist play, and you kind of get goosebumps, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. This town had a history of being what's called, it was blues central, it was R&B central, and it had some great musicians that people will never hear about. This is one of our Chitlin circuits. You guys know what a Chitlin circuit is? Okay.
Sacramento was?
Sacramento had a Chitlin circuit, bro.
You blow my mind
It's
today.
like
All this
Stockton
history I didn't
Boulevard,
know.
all up in Franklin over there.
Yeah.
You had Brown's Paradise. You had Boston's, and there was two or three others. And all like a Bobby Blue Bland. That's where they came.
I mean, the real blues and R&B guys. Are you saying they were coming right
the
through
Masters.
Sac?
The Masters.
Wow.
Okay, that's where they started. That's where they would come through because they didn't have to deal with Jim Crow crap.
Yeah.
There were places for them to stay, especially up and down Stockton Boulevard. Some of those hotels are still there, but they could stay there without being bothered.
And just play their heart out.
Yeah, and you go to the clubs and blah blah blah. But that's how I learned. One of my a famous jazz organist who's no longer with us, Jimmy McGriff. For those who don't know, Google it. Get on your phone.
You young people in the audience.
Look up Jimmy McGriff.
Right,
don't go who. Just look it up. Learn something. Listen to where the history of the Hammond B3 came from. To a lot of people, you would think it's a church organ. It's an integral part of today's sound, starting way back then. Okay. Jimmy McGriff was on the Chitlin Circuit, and he was playing at Boston's Paradise, and Paradise Lounge, I'm sorry. And so my neighbor, Ron McGriff, that was his uncle. Now, mind you, I'm 11 years old.
Yeah.
And so I'd go next door and he'd be playing this, what I thought was a church organ, but I never heard a church organ sound like that, you know, and watching his feet do the pedals and, oh my God,
Just
man.
enthralled. You're
You
like,
know, I literally. So,
I'm in church right now.
Long
but I'm
story
not in
short,
church.
he showed me my first two songs, Down the Road a Piece
Yeah.
and Little Red Rooster.
Great blues
Yeah.
tunes that are still carrying on
Yeah,
today.
those are the
Yeah.
first two songs. I couldn't quite reach the pedals
Yeah.
and play them right, but he taught me how to play that on the Hammond B3.
Wow.
And ever since that
Sweet.
point, I've been trying to learn how to play it right, you know?
So that got you started, and then you just kept playing. You just kept listening to music. Back then it was records.
Yeah.
You listened to records and said, "How can I mimic this? How can I pick up on it?"
It wasn't even so
Just
much
your-
records, bro. What it was, in my household, my mom was a Bible worker. So that should tell everybody something.
Yeah.
Very strict household. Okay, you're not bringing that blues stuff or that heathen stuff into my house, boy.
The devil's
You
music,
know? I
basically.
mean, she grew up with it too in all those parties I was telling
Sure.
you about. You know, so
My kids aren't going to listen.
yeah,
to that.
you're not going to do that. You know, we're Christians now, and so what I did, I'd sneak over and listen whenever he came into town. But Ron's dad played too, and so I'd always just sit up there in their back. They had a back porch.
Yeah.
And I just listen to him play, sneak over. And then I'd come home and I'd get on Mom's piano when she wasn't around, and I'd try to bang out what he taught me. Mom caught me, of course, and yeah, I was reprimanded. So she said, "Okay, you want to play it so bad, you're going to come. I'm taking you to Mother Watkins, who was our church pianist, and she was going to teach me how to play."
Yeah.
But that kind of lessons were, "Come thou almighty saints." It wasn't gospel. It wasn't Pentecostal where you could rock out. It was na 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 boring, go snore. But
That wasn't speaking to you, I can tell.
Yeah, no, it was not at all. But I had to learn that stuff and play it in church.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And as soon as they would leave, I'd sit there and get on the organ and I'd start playing other stuff. And then the choir would kind of rock out, you know. But yeah, so that's, you know, I started learning and getting more familiar with the kind of grooves like that. And I'd sneak out to clubs. I saw Ike and Tina Turner at the old, what's that place over there on Franklin and Fruit Ridge. It used to be called Caballo Blanco.
Caballo Blanco is
Caballo
still there
Blanco.
to this day.
Yeah, upstairs.
Famous Mexican restaurant.
Upstairs. That was part of the Chitlin Circuit.
Wow.
Upstairs.
I didn't
You
know
know,
that. He's there all the
yeah,
time. I never knew that.
Yeah, Ike and Tina Turner played there. I saw Jackie Wilson there. Oh man, who else? B.B. King. I saw him there. You know, that's where they came through.
Yeah.
One of the places. So, you know, just listening to all them, I'd listen and I'd try to emulate. And that's kind of like what got my juices going.
And were you seeing one of those guys when you're young? They're like gods to you, right? You go, look at these guys are just incredible. When did you say, "That's me.
No.
I want to do that"?
No.
It never came to that.
Never came to that. It was different. I just wanted to understand that feeling. I wanted to be able to make myself feel the way they're making me feel.
Yeah.
You know, what is it they're doing? You know, it wasn't anything that I could project yet. It was something I was trying to get inside, you know.
And when do you feel that you to this day, have you gotten there yet? You're still working on it? Or one day it really came to that?
It's always a thing where you're constantly working. Like when you're playing live, you know, with all these people that I played with and done stuff with, it always seems to be just a little shy.
Yeah.
Always a little shy, not quite right. Even though, oh, it was great, it was fantastic, you know, I never was that kind of a guy that let my ego blow up. I never have been that person, you know, so it never really affected me in that sense. Now, truth be told, there was an issue. There was a time in my life where I thought I was a bona fide friggin' rock star, man. When I was
Gotta be, man. You gotta have that attitude sometime.
But it came when I was working with Jeff Beck, you know, and
There's a bona fide rocker. That's a guitarist.
So when I was working with Jeff Beck, you know, it was me, him,
Wow.
and I forgot who else was in it. The singer.
The Jeff Beck group.
And
You
so,
played with the Jeff Beck group.
for a year, yeah. And
young people,
yeah.
you got to know the history. I mean, if maybe you're not rockers, but from the era as we talked to K-Zap on one of our programs, this dude is the dude if he's playing with those guys, because those guys are badass.
Yeah, they're badass, and they're in the history books. You know, they are that important.
Yeah.
Not only just to rock, not only for soul, not only for country or whatever. They're instrumental in the fabric of music, period, in the development of everything. That's when I thought I was a rock star.
Yeah.
Man. I really thought.
I think if you play with them, you were a rock star, bro.
I thought I came back and went to San Francisco. I went straight to North Beach Leathers. I don't know if you remember that place. Dude, I got the loudest yellow, just leather outfit and jacket.
I'm bad. I'm going to be showing up
and
out
at
there.
that time, I had a whole bunch of this. And,
you had the big fro, right?
Oh, I had one going on, So went back over there in the Essex in London, man. I was all cool, and dude. Yeah, we played Sir Albert Hall. And those
how many albums have been recorded there live, and you got to play in a famous such a shrine.
It is
of live music.
And I signed the wall back then in 1972. I signed the wall, and fast forward, Tower of Power played there the first time, and I didn't say anything, but I had some friends over there, and I said, and Emilio looked and said, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I signed this years ago." Oh yeah, I did. And so they found it, and the entire bus ride was different that night. Yeah. When we left London.
You somebody.
It was different. But yeah, that was one of the times in my career where I thought I was I can say it in German, the shite.
I think our listeners get that very much so. Well, we're going to talk more about the shite, which is Roger Smith here. We're going to take a quick break, folks. Size doesn't matter. Our guest today, Roger Smith, extraordinary musician. He's got a sidebar to the wine industry, which we'll cover shortly. We will be right back.
Hey everybody, I'm Roger Smith. I'm one of the owners at Bump City Wine Company, located at the old sugar mill in Clarksburg, California. And for you youngsters like these youngsters who don't know where the hell it is, it's just south Sacramento, 15 minutes from downtown. And we have several varieties of all kinds of wines, and there are 12 other vendors out there. So if you come out there, you won't leave not happy.
Our friends, I don't just say, we took a break on our Side Doesn't Matter podcast. I needed a break. I'm getting blown away here today. My good buddy, Roger Smith, who's a wealth of both personal history, but musical history. Everything I've grown up and listened to, this guy seems to have touched all these musicians that I used to just be in awe of. He's been with them. And so when I got a chance to play with him one song, I can see why we connected. You're just amazing, dude. Your stories are blowing me away. But at the same time, you were so real. When you said, I thought I was a rock star, dude.
I did.
You're a rock star. You don't have to think you're a rock star. Yeah. You are a damn rock star.
Now I'm just a guy that when you stand up, you can hear me like, what's that cereal? Rice Krispies. That's what, snap, crackle, pop, baby.
Crackle, pop.
All day long. Yeah, I used to laugh at my dad when he would get up and go,
there goes another one.
I beat him by 10. God, oh, jeez.
But you got music to soothe your soul, which is great. Yeah. So, Roger was just telling us Jeff Beck, who passed away past a year or two.
By the way, I have his guitar. The one the Fender made for me, he didn't want to keep it. I still have it. It's in the studio.
I got to check that out.
Yeah,
guys, our executive producer, Darren, we got to get that. We got to get a picture, a video of that. This amazing. For those of you that don't know Jeff Beck, some of you in this room might not, in the history of rock, one of the top 5 guitarists, some people say one of the top. When you hear what's called jazz rock, he was one of the purveyors of jazz rock. He was a rock musician. He loved jazz. I could see why you made a connection with him and brought it forward. You guys probably know Rod Stewart, kind of has the name. Rod Stewart played with Jeff Beck when he was really nobody. Jeff Beck put him on the map. And you got to play with all these guys, just boom. So this was the early 70s.
Yes, very early 70s.
And then was music your entire career then? You didn't have another job?
At that particular time, oh God, yeah, that was it. There was nothing else.
So you were on the road and you were a sideman, you went on tour, you were in the recording studio. What did you do?
Well, basically, back then, when I was about their ages, oh my God, I did everything that you should not do.
So in other words, do what he did and you might be him one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, it was
You're a rock star.
Back then, it was so much, man. You know,
Yeah.
in the 70s, that was the lifestyle, literally. And it's no joke. It's not a fallacy. It's not a pipe dream. We lived that stuff. And it was like daily life. You get up, you do whatever you got to do. And, you know, you get your little buzz on or whatever.
Yeah.
And you hang out, you know, go do some rehearsing or whatever. You hang out with everybody. And while you're hanging out, you're getting your buzz on. Okay? After you finish, you're going to eat a little something. You get more of a buzz on. Then what's going to happen? You want to go to the club, you know, show off your rock stardom, you know, and you get more of a buzz on. You don't remember crap that happened once you left that bar or club. You know, it's, God, it was that, there was a studio or this club in New York, Club Studio 51 or 21. Or
the big disco place.
Yeah.
Studio 54.
About 54, that was it.
Yeah.
Been in there a bunch. And yeah.
You had to be somebody. You must have been a rock star.
No, I was with somebody.
Oh, because you had to be somebody to get in that place. You had to be
Yeah.
like Mick Jagger status.
We went in, it was, that I remember, it was, we stumbled right on in. You know,
I'm with the band.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm with
Yeah.
the band.
It was just like, there was, you know, it was a trip. I've been in situations, but never anything like that.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
You know, even to this day, never anything that with that much debauchery and just free flowing whatever
Yeah.
in a nightclub public.
Well, nobody's hiding anything.
No.
It's out there in the
It was
open.
just
It's
right
al
there.
fresco. You're
So
out
yeah, so we, you know, it's something that I lived through, and thank God I survived. You know,
You're here and you look like you're one piece better than most of the guys.
I'm
So
telling you,
that's saying something.
Other than the snap, crackle, pop, I'm cool.
Your faculties are here. That's a good deal. So you carried this on through the 70s into the 80s.
Yeah.
So you were in the studio, you recorded with a lot of these, what we call famous people. You were on tour with them.
Yes.
What are some of the two of the best memories and three of the morning nightmares?
Okay. Well, I think
you can remember
Well,
them.
no, I can remember, but I can't share.
Okay.
One I can. I was with, this was after, 72, came back to Texas, and I got with what's called Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Yeah, Joe Cocker.
Joe
Oh,
Cocker
yeah.
sang, and Leon Russell.
You were on that tour?
The second one, yeah. And it was kind of ill-fated. It was ill-fated. Rita Coolidge and all those
Yeah.
guys. So, long story short, we had played New York, and it's 4 days staying awake, full of debauchery, and we were just walking zombies.
That's why it was called Mad Dogs.
Yeah.
For a reason.
So after the show, some guys who had a private golf course somewhere upstate New York invited, because he liked to consider himself a golfer. So him and they drugged me along. No, come on, nobody else was going. They're not stupid enough to go.
So you were with
Yes.
on the golf course.
Yes. Okay. So we made it to what I remember, we got to the golf course, and it was about 4:30 in the morning when we got there. And they let us in because they were rock stars.
Yeah.
And we get this, I've never been on a private golf course. I've never seen anything like that gorgeous, man. And other than house, the grounds. But we're we're there. And so I'm continuing my 4-day runner, and they're out there just swinging, drinking beer, and doing whatever they do.
Yeah.
We get to this the sun's up around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just blottoed, man, but just feeling no pain. And so goes, hey, not but hands me this golf club. He goes, just go put it in the hole. Just knock the ball in the hole. All right. So I get this golf club. I get up on this grass, and I start swinging and trying to get the ball. And the more I swung, the more they laughed. Oh, hey.
I must be doing something good.
So I'm just swinging and they're just rolling, man. They're literally dying. They're just falling out all over the place. Here come the cops. All of them. Cops are coming. Long story short, back then, you got to figure in 71, 472, getting fined $30-something thousand was a lot of money.
Oh, 30.
Tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because what I found out later, that was a pristine putting green. They gave me a pitching wedge for a sand wedge.
Oh, no.
I destroyed
They might have just given you a shovel, the same thing.
I literally did that. I destroyed that green. Just literally destroyed it. Click, click. We all went down, paid all that money. We got out, and it made a story in some book. There's a rock and roll book out with that tale in it.
So maybe that fine is what derailed the tour?
No, that was close, man. It was close. But that was one of the standout craziness, rock and rolled them, God, man.
Now it makes for a good, funny story, right? You can laugh about it. Now maybe back then you're going, what the
Back then it freaked me out, Jeez. Mugshot. Oh, God.
It's still sitting somewhere out there.
It's somewhere in there.
Oh, it's your next album cover. Perfect. You said. Roger's back.
Yep.
He's out.
He's back at it. Yep. Name of the new record. Yep. God.
So when you're on these tours, did you ever wake up, 3 a.m, I couldn't say wake up, you're already awake.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever just kind of sit up and go, what the hell am I doing here? How long can I keep doing this for the way I'm doing it? Do I need to get off this bus ride and just do something different with my music?
No. It was different back then because, number one, being in that kind of a situation, you're making some really good money, as a side man.
Yeah.
It was you go from $50 a night playing 4 hours a night to what I was making. So no, when I finished that, got a call from my buddy Aguna, and that's when Soul Train came around. And so we wound up being the house band for Soul Train.
One of the biggest dance programs on network TV.
And we were the house band for that. In other words, house band being this. So like when the Manhattans or somebody who didn't have a band behind them, they needed to rehearse. So we rehearsed them. We never played on stage live. We were like, so when they come down, they want to get their harmonies together. Our band was rehearsing stuff with them and getting stuff together. And we had our own contract. So we were like that band on call at any time. And that's what we did for Soul Train. And during that same time with Soul Train, I got the gig with Miss Gladys Knight of 1974.
What a singer. That's right when she hit it really big.
Yeah.
She was at her prime.
Well, she was at her prime then, but even before then, because she had Midnight Train to Georgia.
Yeah.
And she had heard it through the grapevine way back then. And the Pips were still with her, and so that's...
Our younger audience, you got to look up Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Yeah.
Beautiful. One of the most amazing voices you will ever listen to. So did you just play with her briefly? Were you on a tour with her?
No, that was just briefly off and on, off and on.
Yeah.
Fast forward, my next encounter with her was here with the late Stan Lanetta.
Oh, here in Sac. Wow.
Yeah, Stan Lanetta. He was the music guru here in town, all around. Did the music circus and kept the orchestra together. Well, the orchestra was contracted because Gladys always used an orchestra, 40-piece, no matter where she played, to play at the Concord Pavilion. And the pianist, of course, was not a soul piano player. So Stan called me up, says, hey, you want to go do the Gladys? Blah. Yeah.
I do.
So, I put on the little, because everybody was in little tuxedos, because we were in the pit. So went down there and started playing, and I knew all the songs anyway. They had charts.
But you actually played with the orchestra, though.
Yeah, I was with the orchestra,
great.
So we did the whole show.
Yeah.
And fast forward, end of the night, they were doing Heard It Through the Grapevine, except for like Heard It Through the Grapevine was Heard It Through the Grapevine. Now, their go-away was boom, boom, heard it through the grapevine. They were doing their steps and stuff and doing all that stuff. So I jumped on my clavinet and I started doing the clavinet stuff. One of the Pips messed up his step because he was listening. He never heard it before. And he went left when he should have went right. Gladys stopped the whole thing. And of course, the audience, they thought it was part of the show.
Yeah.
And she did a whole thing. She said to pro, what is wrong with you? How long have we been? Blah, 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 blah. And we're all back there laughing. This is great. This is fabulous. We're actually seeing a Vegas skit or something.
Yeah.
And said, well, it wasn't my fault. Yes, it was your fault. And the audience, you got 20,000 people out there just dying laughing.
Good fun, yeah.
So he turns around and said, it's him. Light.
You.
Dude, my heart, everything else came up right here. It scared the out of me, you know. And I mean, I froze, man.
Yeah.
I literally froze in my seat, and all the orchestra people, these are straight-laced classical people. They didn't hear anything that I'd done bad, so to show support, they were clicking their instruments. It's okay. In other words, it's okay, young man, you're okay. You know, I wasn't okay. I was almost in tears, man. And the drummer was on the floor laughing. This wasn't funny to me, man. You know, I'm dying. I'm literally
It's like
dying
the end
in
of
my
your
pants.
life, right?
Yeah, and my career's over. All the stuff I've done, forget about it. Miss Gladys Knight, I just totally blew the show. Oh my God, forget about it. You know, and he's just laughing. He said, "Man, don't worry about it, man." They were laughing. There's only a 4-piece rhythm section. They were 3 until they got me. And so they started it up again. I got on piano, and I did what's called footballs. Okay, not no rhythm, just like heard it through the grapevine, just about to 3, 4, one chord per measure, no rhythm, no playing along with it. Just I wasn't gonna mess this up.
You stripped it way down.
I was totally toast. When it was all over, I'm packing up my stuff and I'm almost in tears. And when coming off stage, he says, "Man, I'm gonna get you."
He's got my number.
I'm quoting. That's just what he said as he walked off. And I can't, I don't know if any of you ever experienced this absolute, not physically getting beaten up, but everything inside your
Yeah, you're crushed inside.
And so I'm packing up my stuff, and my, she, we're in the car, and I just died, And we get home, and I put my stuff away, and I couldn't even sleep. I'm just sitting there, I'm done. I'm a laughing stock. I'm toast, no matter what I'd done in the past. Phone rings about 2:30. It's the road manager for Gladys. "Hey, man, you want to meet us down in San Diego tomorrow night?" And I thought it was somebody, being
Pranking you, huh?
click.
Yeah.
Phone rings again. Click. I hung up. No. And my says, "I'm going to answer it this time." So she answers. She said, "Don't hang up. This is so-and-so with Gladys. This is no joke. It's no prank call. We want Roger to come down to San Diego and meet us and play Mile High Stadium. Not Mile High, but the Charger Stadium with us." Now, by the way, on this tour, this is a great tour, man. It had LTD. It had George Duke with an 18-year-old Sheila E. playing percussion. Al Jarreau and Frankie Beverly and Mays. They had just turned their name into Mays. They used to be Raw Soul. And they were on the tour, and Gladys. All 5.
What a bill to have on
It was a heck of a bill, man. And so I took a chance, bought a ticket. Okay, I know I'm going to get smoked on this. This has to be something. I fly down there. I get to the hotel. I see some of the guys up there, a drummer I knew. And I go on in there. And I said, "Okay, it might be all right." And I told them my name. I'm here with Gladys Knight. "Sorry, sir, we don't see your name."
Oh, they pranked me, man.
I walked right outside. I was flagged the first cab I saw.
Yeah.
Just to save my face. And Goon and those guys, "Hey, man, where you going? Where you going? Hey, don't leave." And here comes Gladys's guy running outside. "Where you going, dude?"
Really?
I said, "Well, man, I thought this was some BS."
Yeah.
He said, "No." So he pulls me back in. We get back in the hotel, go upstairs. Mind you, there's only 4 of us in the band, 3 pips, and Gladys. And Gladys has her own valesse, I guess is what you call it, the female valet, whatever you call it, attendant. And the guys have their valet, okay? But the band members, Gladys and the pip, we all had suites on the top floor. And so we did the gig, and they asked, "Hey, man, you want to come on up to Denver with us tomorrow night?" Well, yeah, sure. We get to Denver. It was Gladys's birthday. And after the birthday party, I was up there being a fly on the wall, just seeing these stars, man. I was starstruck again.
Yeah. And
at the end of the night, Gladys's attendant brought out a little cupcake and said, "Welcome to the band." Hey, everybody, I'm Roger Smith. organist, keyboardist with Tower Power, a couple other people. What I want to tell you is I have a brand new single that's going to be released September 26th. It's called Back at It, along with the new EP. Check it out. It's going to be on all digital downloads, all wherever you buy streaming music, that's where it's going to be. Check it out.
Roger, I just can't get enough of you, dude. I am learning so much about you, the life you lived, the musicians you touched. And but I'm going to bring it back home because your home base has been Sacramento, Northern California
Yes.
for a long time.
All my life. Huh?
And there's a local band, not Sacramento, but just down the road in Oakland, California. I remember still the term East Bay Grease.
Yep.
As a kid. So my very first concert, I was a very young teenager, and some girl in the neighborhood said, "Hey, you want to go to this concert?" And the opening band was Graham Central Station, Larry Graham, who was with Sly and the Family Stone, badass bass player. And they blew my mind. I was, 13-year-old kid. They had sirens going on and bombs. I go, this is like the loudest concert I've ever been to. It was my only concert. The headline band, I can't remember who it was. They couldn't make it for some reason, so they called up Tower Power. Come down the freeway. It's, 70 miles. Quick, do the show. It was their Back to Oakland tour. Yeah. And they came in, and they were fantastic. So this was back in the 70s, and they, especially in northern central California, they were huge. They packed the place. Still a Young Man played at every high school dance, slow dance, right?
Remind me to tell you a story about Still a Young Man.
Okay, we're going to come back to that.
Prince is Still a Young Man.
Prince.
Yeah.
Okay, and our younger audience here, they'll remind me of that because you hear the word Prince, your ears picked up.
Prince.
Okay.
Purple Rain.
Yeah, we're going to come back to that.
Yeah, okay, we'll get it.
so Tower Power was huge in the northern half California, East Coast, Europe. Never kind of made that national big sensation. But this was back in the 70s and the 80s. But you connected with them, sometime in the 90s?
Yeah, middle 90s.
Middle 90s. So you're Sacramento, they're Bay Area. How did that connection make? I mean, it seemed like you'd done all you could do, and yet you connect with the band that was touring on a regular basis.
Yeah, they were out, they were playing in Tahoe. And the band I was telling you about, my Soul Train group.
Yeah.
It was three of us. We were doing a trio with a horn. And we were doing stuff that, like I said, from the old guys that were doing the Chitlin Circuit.
Yeah.
I learned how to play, kicking my own bass. I was singing and playing organ. And we had that same greasy, absolute gut bucket soul down. Yeah. And we were playing up there right at the base of Heavenly during the season, a place called the Christiana Lodge. And so that was our home every season. So I get a call from Norbert Stachel, the then lead tenor player. Norbert says, "Hey, man, they're thinking about getting an organ player. You interested?" "Sure, why not?" And I said, "Oh, man, they're going to hold auditions here, then blah, blah. Okay, that's cool. But, man, we're going to be in Tahoe the same time you are. You guys are playing Eras. Just bring the guys down." No. "Well, they don't like to get out." "Well, we'll try to." "What do you mean they don't like to get out? They're looking for an organ player, right?" So drug Melio out of the room, drug David Garibaldi out, and the then guitar player, Jeff Tamalier. They came over there where we were, and they could barely see us because the place is small, but it was packed.
Yeah.
And so they're standing back there like this, and so Melio finally got a seat. And so they sat there, stayed 2 hours, 2 sets. So I went on about my business, and they hired another organ player. I didn't give it a second thought because I was happy. Yeah. Doing my thing instead of Soul Train, and we were doing our own bit. We were good. We were a good group.
Yeah.
And get a call from David Garibaldi. "Hey, man, God, we really like the way you played, man. Can you come down to my house in Livermore and bring your small rig, and let's just play?" Oh, I was jazzed about that. How Rocco Prestia, Dave Garibaldi, and come on. So I packed up my little stuff, went down there, we jammed, we had a blast. And Gary tear it down. Dave said, "Leave it here, man. If you don't mind, let's do it again." I figured they were working on some side project that they wanted me involved in. Yeah. And I was jazzed to do it. Come back the next day, we played for a good solid 4 hours, just nonstop. Yeah. All done. I'm sitting at his kitchen table. We're having a glass of wine. He gets on the phone, calls up Emilio Castillo. He's right close to me as you are.
Basically, the band director and the founder,
the leader,
of Tower
the founder.
Power. Yeah.
And this is what he said. I'm quoting. "Hey, Mimi, Dave, listen, man, we got our organ player."
You're like,
huh? Okay. Now, they had already hired another guy. And Emilio says, "Okay." because he knew it was me.
Yeah.
And so I guess they fired whoever that was. And mind you, I'd not met the horns. I'd not met anybody. The singer didn't meet anybody.
Yeah.
So I go back home. Emilio calls that night, and he said, "Hey, he faxed back then, fax machine. He faxed over the lyric sheets, and he had me write down my vocal notes for the background vocals. So we literally had a 2.5 hour rehearsal on the phone. Never played with the band other than these guys.
Yeah.
And I met him in Philadelphia 2 days later. Never rehearsed with the band proper.
Yeah. But
So-
you rolled that into 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years with Tower Power. You guys toured, I don't know if all over the world. I know you toured
over
Europe
the
a lot.
world. All over the
All over
world.
the world.
Yes.
And the crowds I know in other countries, they've always loved TOP.
Yeah, and they don't get it too often. So Tower Power is pretty much an iconic band around the world because there's no other band like it. You know, everybody emulates it, plays it just as well, if not better, but it wasn't the original thing. One thing about Europe, the demographic, the age demographic was a lot younger, and they knew every word, man. It was amazing. We come here, you look out at the crowd and say, okay, it's the ARP convention.
All the boomers out there, right?
Oh, man, nothing but gray hair.
Yeah.
You know, you go to Europe, this age,
people.
literally.
Mid-20s.
You know, I have a video, I have to give you a clip of it. We played one of our shows, Leverkusen, and they videoed it. And look out there, man. And he's all these, you know, it's about 25 to 35-year-olds. You know, 15,000 of them.
Yeah.
You know, then we played Pori Jazz, 45,000. Same ages. Of course, there's a spattering,
Sure.
but mostly kids, knowing everything. And for me, it was gold to me.
It was you found a good home for a long haul. I mean, 30 years is a lot.
It was gold, you know.
And so you kept playing all these years. And so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, and we can backtrack after. But Tower Power's second album called Bump City. You're still a young man.
Okay, we're going to go somewhere. You want to say this to the next episode? Yeah. Well, matter of fact, I'm tired.
I say let's go right now. Let's bring it right now.
Yeah. Well, it's okay, but I've been up all day,
Okay.
and I drove, so I'm kind of beat. But if you can remember this for the next one, we'll go into Young Man and the Prince.
Okay,
connection.
you're on.
Okay.
You were definitely on.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry, but
So the Bump City album, you've turned that into another business. So
Yes,
10
I
years
did.
ago, you decided that you love wine so much. Hey,
yeah. Well, I had the opportunity, and basically the wine curator for Costco, tasted some wine that we had made at our wine club up in Amador. He said, "You need your own label," so introduced me to my now great purveyor in Sonoma, who was the biggest fanboy I ever met in my life.
yeah.
Been to every tower show in the world. And he made me a deal with a handshake, and I've been doing it for 10 years. And so when it came down time to name the company, I said, okay, I'm in this band. Okay. I didn't want to call it something good. Bump City Wine Company.
Bro,
Yeah.
size doesn't matter.
That's it.
Size does not matter. You're the right place, the right time. You're authentic. You make it happen. And, 3 times tonight, maybe more, you said, oh, I thought I was a rock star. You are the beholden rock star in so many ways. Your history, your personal history, just fantastic. You're a rock star, I think, growing up. You had great, deep values. Your passion for music, like you said, the way it spoke to you and gave you those goosebumps, and you wanted to produce that with somebody else, you became a rock star. And then you had a passion for wine. You go, I just drink the wine. But then you realize that if I just do it my way, that simple way, and I'm in the right place, right time, your wine just flew off the shelves like it should have been. You are a true rock star, Roger Smith.
Oh, man.
Very much so. So, I told you before we could go on for a marathon. We are going to have you back again.
Okay.
I know you've been on the road. You've been doing a lot promoting. You got some fantastic new music coming out. So when your new music comes out, nowadays we don't call it records anymore, right? We call it downloads.
The downloads or whatever.
downloads.
What do they call music? Thank you.
Okay. You got some new streaming music coming down.
music coming
as
out,
soon as
yeah.
it hits
Yeah.
the digital world, we're going to bring you back. We're going to talk about your new music.
Who has a CD
all the
player
good
in
stuff
here?
with that. I got a CD player
What? There you go.
in your car. Oh. It's still got a CD stuck
Still got
in
a
it, right?
CD, yeah. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Well,
Excellent.
I got a 64 Thunderbird that has a cassette.
Oh, yeah, cassette.
Yeah.
That's really old
Still
school.
has it. Yeah, that car is I drive it every once in a while. It's a beast. Man.
Brings
I
back
love
a
it.
good memory, though.
Yeah, it does.
But
God.
your new music's on the horizon, and we're going to want you to plug that briefly. These early episodes, we're going to have you back to the episode when it breaks out. We want to talk more music with you.
Sure.
And then we'll bring a bottle of wine here. We want to showcase it. We want to show it off a bit.
I still insist you come to the studio.
Oh yeah, I'll come to the studio. I don't know if I'm playing. Maybe Darren, our executive producer, Darren will play.
Maybe.
Bring some stuff, man.
I think he's better than me.
And let's do it in the little room.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun.
I got a couple of B3s there and set it.
Oh yeah, Darren, you could do that.
What if we
keyboard?
record a podcast at your place too?
That's what I was saying.
Okay, you're on. We'll have a bottle of Bump City right there.
Yeah.
Some,
I like Bump City, but my libation, I love bourbon. Usually when I leave the winery, I don't want to see or smell a grape.
Down to the nightclub.
Give me some tequila or some bourbon.
Oh yeah,
And I'm all in, maybe.
Okay. We'll mix it. We'll get you pumped up.
Hey guys, can I say this? This is great. And in full disclosure, these topics that we talked about tonight, I was just telling him earlier, I don't do it. For the last 50 years, I don't share that kind of stuff. Because back then you get the BS, so I just throw it away and go on about my business. So this is as much of anything about my personal life or my personal endeavor in the music industry that I've ever talked about. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. I can't get enough of you. I literally, if you weren't tired tonight because you've been so busy, this guy's a hustler. He's just moving. He was gracious to come down to the studio today and share with us. I could listen another 6 hours, bro. Really.
True.
Bring wine, bourbon, tequila, whatever you want.
Let's get busy. Let's get busy.
We'll get busy. Yeah. So next episode, we're going to be back with Roger Smith at his personal studio. We want to hear this man in action, definitely, because he is badass. He is a rock star. Roger Smith, musician and human being extraordinaire. I'm proud to say I'm a friend of yours. Thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you again.
It's a pleasure, guys.
Okay.
Peace, guys.
Remember, size doesn't matter. These conversations are the real deal. We bring real life to you in the studio, to your listening ears and eyes. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back again soon with our next episode.
Peace.